9-mile paddle here for the dedication for the Verlen Kruger Memorial. I mentioned last night on my Facebook page that when I was going to do my expedition across the U.S. from the Atlantic to the Pacific, I was doing research on what kind of canoe to use. And the guy suggested I call it Verlen Kruger. He was the guru of it. So I thought, well, I'll try calling him. He says, well, he's got a website, look it up. And the day I looked it up, it was on there. He said, I'm sorry to tell you that Verlen passed away the day before. So I never met the man, but as I'm sure he has yours and many others, he's influenced me as much as anybody else. To me, this is a special day.
Nervous about bears, and you know, he'd have nightmares about bears all the time, and he actually did.
And those are some of the funniest stories.
Yeah, we'd be traveling. It's funny when him and my son and me went up and paddled up on the Mississippi, and Verlen would be in the back sleeping because we'd always start out at night and then get there in the day and start paddling, but he'd be back there and thrashing his arms, this and that. And my boy, Dad, is he all right? Yeah, Verlen's all right. He just having a little nightmare. We're going into bear country. And that did, I mean, and he did that quite often. And we were on the Buffalo River another time with a bunch of us guys in Verlen, and a whole bunch of armadillos had come in through. And for whatever reason, for the life of me, I don't know why, but him and my buddy Dave were up on us, up here on this level. Everybody else was down in this level because Verlen was worried about the water coming up. After them armadillos went through, he said, Dave, let's get our tents and move down with them other guys. And you know, he had nightmares that night. And he was talking about armadillos and grumbling about them and stuff. But that was...
I did not know that. That's,
oh, yeah?
That's hilarious.
He always grumbles.
We were in a big, huge abandoned building, barn, and a lot of the sides were missing.
And if there's a lot of traffic, we'll
Nick
just drive back
had,
and forth. But yeah, it's just...
slung his Clark hammock real close to the Taj Mahal, Verlen and Jenny's big tent.
Turn away from town.
Well, nobody had told Nick about Verlen having these nightmares, and he had one of them, and he was yelling, "Bear! Here's a bear!" And scared Nick, and Nick had a shotgun in his hammock underneath. He reached for that shotgun before he was coming out of his hammock, before he realized it, because then he heard Jenny going, Verlen, you're dreaming, Verlen. Wake up, Verlen.
That is so great.
Had a way of giving you a title to get you to do things. And that's how he got me in the Great Mississippi River Race. And then he asked me if I'd help him do the logistics for the Yukon Canoe Odyssey. What do you need? Because Verlen didn't like to do that kind of stuff. He just liked to go. And he said, well, you just need to get there to the campground in Whitehorse and then get back from the Bering Sea. Okay. So I started searching the internet to see how people get back from the Bering Sea, and most people just sell their boats when they get there, but that certainly wasn't an option to sell 10 Kruger boats up there. And I finally got a hold of Air North, and I called them very close. I said, I asked him how much, and told him what we need, 10 people and 10 canoes and all our gear. And he said, oh, probably maybe $15,000. And of course I almost choked. Then I started thinking, that's $1,500, that's not too bad. And so I didn't ask permission like you said, I just did it. And of course I had a lot of people saying, what if we flew into Fairbanks, and then we could take a bus down? And it's way too complicated. We drive up there, they're going to give us a place to park, they're going to watch our cars. They let us off, they'd fly direct to Whitehorse, they let us off there at the airport where they park. We just walk right across the parking lot, and there's our, to me, $1,500 is cheap. And that's how we ended up with Air North. But it was kind of touch and go toward the end because we weren't sure we were going to make it in time. We were windbound 3 or 4 days, and we thought we were going to have to go back to Mountain Village and pick them up there.
I probably knew that.
Part of the problem was two of the 10 of us went on, and they were at a Monic waiting for us, and if we couldn't get into a Monic, I didn't know how they were going to get back. I was going to have to talk the plane into picking us up and then going to a Monic, or go to a Monic and then pick us up, and then we had to get back to the mountain village by going upstream, and we couldn't paddle upstream. It was way too strong. And so we got hold of the village chief, and he had arranged big Yukon boats, their Eskimo boats, to haul us back if we needed. But it wasn't as easy as Verlen made it sound.
There were 3 guys sitting in a wood canvas canoe, and they had paddled all the way, I believe, from Rocky Mountain House. They were heading for Montreal. I had come from coast of Maine, and I was heading toward Mackinac Island. But we stopped in the middle of the expanse of water there and chatted. And that was the year that Verlen did his trip with Clint. So they didn't get to see him, even though that their route had coincided with his. They were going in opposite directions. But they'd heard about him, about he and Clint. And they told me, you know, that there were these 2 guys who were paddling across Canada, and they had this unbelievably fast, long canoe, and they could paddle all day and all night, and it really caught my imagination. You know, I was pretty young at the time, and I just thought that that was something that I'd sure like to do someday. So I did, of course, get to know Verlen pretty well, and we got the idea of doing a long trip together, and of course we did that trip. But I have to say that I learned an awful lot from him, and I'm sure a lot of you can say the same.
I'm the Missouri and I travel on down across the Dakotas by the Midwestern towns, and to water your farms with my silvery hand, and forever I'll travel in the heart of the land. I am the Ohio and my water is wide, by the banks of Kentucky I travel with pride. From the old Allegheny forever I'll run, and I'll carry your people in the light of the sun. So sang the river as its waters glided low. So sang the river, I've a long, long way to go. And I am the border, the Oreo Grande, the waters that cut through the southwestern lands, from the deserts and the badlands through the canyons so deep. I stretch my green ribbon and I never will sleep. So sang the river as its waters glided low. So sang the river, I've a long, long way to go. And I am the American and I carry the gold. In the hills of California my story was told, how men with the fever fell on me like rain, and dug for my treasure till nothing remained. So sang the river as its waters glided low. So sang